Charlotte stepped into a garden party strung with lights. She searched for her cousin Pamela, champagne flute cool in her hand. She froze mid-step. Her smile vanished. Across the lawn, a man's laugh cut through the chatter, a sound she'd buried 9 years ago.
That's his face. That's his laugh. But Ryan is dead. He died when I was 19.
The man was older, heavier, but unmistakably Ryan. Same eyes, same crooked smile. He had his arm around Pamela, laughing as if he'd never been a ghost.
Pamela is laughing with him. She doesn't know. To her, he's just her fiancé. But to me, he's the boy I buried a decade ago.
The banner read, Pamela and Ryan in gold script. The name alone sent a shiver through her chest. Her knuckles whitened on the stem of the champagne flute. Bubbles rose and popped against the glass, soundless in the roar of her pulse. A nearby guest glanced at her, then followed her gaze toward the happy couple, puzzled by the utter stillness of the woman in the red dress.
This can't be real. I am at my cousin's engagement party, and my dead boyfriend is the groom. This isn't happening.
Charlotte blinked, her lungs burning. She forced her feet to move, retreating toward the house before the tears could break free. 9 years earlier, Charlotte was 19 and in love with Ryan, a 20-year-old sophomore. Her evangelical family treated their relationship like a sickness.
My mother says you are leading me away from God. She calls me every night crying about my soul.
She can't control what's between us, Charlotte. We just have to outlast her. I am not going anywhere.
But Linda Evans didn't just call. She interfered, schemed, and treated her daughter's happiness as a rebellion to be crushed. Then, on a Friday in March, Linda came home with a face soaked in tears that Charlotte would later learn were entirely rehearsed.
Charlotte, sweetheart, there's been an accident. Ryan's car went off the highway in Pennsylvania. He didn't make it.
No, you are lying. He was fine yesterday. He texted me this morning. This can't be real.
Linda pressed a printed obituary into Charlotte's trembling hands. A private family service, she said. No funeral. Charlotte never questioned it.
He's gone. I'll never see his smile again. This house is a tomb, and I am supposed to just keep breathing.
For 9 years, she grieved a boy who had been erased from her life, never knowing that his death was a lie, manufactured by the woman who raised her. She slipped through clusters of guests, her smile fixed and brittle, but her gaze kept cutting back to the man who should be dead.
Keep walking. Don't look at him. You cannot let Pamela see you like this.
She reached the kitchen and closed the door firmly behind her, the party noise dulling to a muffled thrum.
That was Ryan. Real and alive. 9 years of sorrow, and he never died at all. The obituary was a lie.
She pressed both hands onto the cold marble counter, forcing slow, deliberate breaths into her lungs, trying to quiet the roaring in her ears.
Who could do this? Who would tell a young woman that the boy she loved was dead when he was breathing the whole time?
Her phone felt heavy in her clutch. She pulled it out, then hesitated, fingertips trembling over the gallery icon. There they were. Old photos from college, her and Ryan laughing in the autumn light.
These pictures were my only proof he ever existed. Now he is outside, toasting his engagement to my cousin.
She locked the phone and set it aside on the counter. Whatever came next, whatever impossible truth waited outside, she could not fall apart here. The kitchen held its breath with her. Outside, laughter swelled. Inside, 9 years of grief were finally asking for a name.
I could walk out the back door right now, pretend I never saw him, let him stay dead for me.
But her hand already knew what her conscience demanded. She picked up the phone again and unlocked the gallery. The photo filled the screen. 2 teenagers under an oak tree, his arm around her shoulder, autumn leaves catching in her hair.
He looked exactly the same. That same laugh, same crooked smile. How could anyone do this to him, to us? If I stay silent, Pamela marries a ghost. She builds her life on a lie, just like I did.
She zoomed in on Ryan's face, until his pixels blurred. The evidence was undeniable. This man was no stranger.
I have to tell Pamela. She deserves the truth, even if it shatters this engagement, even if she hates me for it.
She pocketed the phone, wiped her eyes with the back of her hand, and drew a breath that steadied her shoulders. Then she pushed open the kitchen door. Somewhere in the warm party noise, her cousin was laughing, and Charlotte was about to break that laughter in two. Charlotte moved through the house until she found Pamela alone in the kitchen, scissors clattering into a drawer.
Pamela, wait.
Pamela looked up, her expression collapsing as she registered Charlotte's ghostly intensity. Without a word, Charlotte turned her phone screen toward her cousin, the old photo burning bright in the dim kitchen. Pamela's eyes locked on the image, and all the warmth drained from her face. Her hand froze mid-reach.
Come outside with me, right now.
Pamela's mouth opened, but no sound came. She simply nodded, dropping the scissors she'd been holding. A minute later, they were in Pamela's car, the engine off, the world reduced to a sealed quiet. Pamela gripped the steering wheel, knuckles white. Charlotte turned in her seat, her face half-shadowed but resolute.
That man you are marrying, I loved him once. I thought he died 9 years ago.
Pamela stared at Charlotte, her mouth opening and closing without sound.
What do you mean? You loved him?
9 years ago, Ryan and I were in love. My family hated it. Then my mother told me he died in a car crash. I've grieved him ever since.
She described the printed obituary, the private family service that never existed, the missing funeral.
But he's alive. He's been alive this whole time.
Yes, and when I saw him tonight, I thought I was hallucinating.
Pamela's tears finally fell. She looked down at her hands, then back at Charlotte.
He told me about a first love who ghosted him. He never mentioned a name, but he said she just disappeared one day.
So he thinks I abandoned him. And I thought he was dead. Someone did this on purpose.
The weight of the conspiracy settled over them, heavier than the darkness outside. Their separate grief became one, and with it, a desperate need for answers.
Your mother. It had to be her. She's the only one who hated Ryan enough to pull a stunt like this.
She's right. Mom controlled everything. But this is beyond anything I could have imagined.
We're going to her house. Right now. I need to hear her say it.
Pamela, she'll deny everything. She'll cry and twist it around on us. Are you ready for that?
Without another word, Pamela turned the key. The engine rumbled to life, and the headlights cut through the dark. The car slipped through empty suburban streets, street lights flashing in rhythm as they drove toward a confrontation neither wanted.
I am about to accuse my own mother of faking a death. If she admits it, my whole childhood is a lie.
Pamela's jaw clenched so tight a muscle flickered in her cheek. She didn't slow down, didn't speak, just drove. 20 minutes later, the car rolled to a stop in front of a dark house with a single porch light burning. They killed the engine. The house loomed silent and still. Charlotte's hand trembled as she reached for the door handle. Charlotte climbed out, the night air cold on her bare arms. The porch light cast long shadows across the lawn. Pamela appeared beside her, silent as a ghost, and together they walked toward the front steps. They stopped at the foot of the porch. The house stood utterly still, as if holding its breath.
Maybe we should wait until morning. This is going to destroy her, and I don't know if I can watch.
She destroyed you 9 years ago and kept him a prisoner of a lie. We're not waiting another hour.
Charlotte met her cousin's eyes, then nodded slowly, the last of her hesitation draining away. They climbed the porch steps one by one, the old wood groaning under their weight. Pamela reached the door first. Her finger hovered over the bell, trembling. Charlotte placed a steadying hand on her back. Together, they would face whatever truth waited inside. Pamela pressed the doorbell. A deep chime rang through the dark house, shattering the silence. A light flicked on inside, and slow footsteps approached the door. Linda, in a rumpled bathrobe, opened it a crack.
Charlotte? Pamela? It's past midnight. What's happened?
She pulled the door wider, and then her eyes locked on Charlotte. Her face went slack, the pretense falling away in an instant.
Tell me about Ryan, Mom. About how he died in a car crash 9 years ago.
Linda's throat bobbed. Her hand gripped the doorframe, as if the floor had tilted beneath her.
I don't know what you mean, Ryan. He's gone. Charlotte, we mourned him.
We saw him tonight. He's alive and he's engaged to me. Stop lying.
Linda flinched at the word lying, her mask slipping further. She looked wildly between them, a cornered animal.
We have the photos, Mom. We have the obituary you printed. You are going to tell us what you did.
Linda covered her mouth with a trembling hand, a choked sob catching in her throat. The truth was churning to the surface.
All right. You want the truth? I made it all up. The accident, the funeral, all of it.
How did you do it? How did you make him disappear?
24,000. I gave his family 24,000 and they made sure he never contacted you again. I paid a vanity press to print an obituary. It was never in any real paper. You were so young. He was leading you away from God. I was trying to save your soul.
She's actually proud of it. She thinks this was love.
You ruined his life. He thought she abandoned him. You put him through hell for a check.
I did what I had to do. You'll understand when you have children of your own.
The room fell into a cold silence. The confession was complete, but the wreckage was only beginning.
What do we do now? How do we even begin to fix this?
You ruined his life. He spent 9 years believing the girl he loved simply abandoned him.
Linda's mouth opened, but no defense came. Charlotte's voice cut through the silence, low and steady.
You are no longer welcome at my wedding, Linda. You are uninvited from every family event for the next 2 years.
The words landed like a physical blow. Linda crumpled into herself, sobbing without sound.
I don't want to see your face. I don't want to hear your justifications. You stole 9 years from me.
Pamela stood beside Charlotte, her chest heaving, but she didn't add another word. The judgment was complete. The wedding is postponed until further notice. We need to tell Ryan the truth and decide what comes next. Charlotte turned toward the door. Her hand was steady, but her heart felt like it had been torn open and remade. Linda remained on the couch, a broken shape in the dim light, as the front door clicked shut.
Ryan still doesn't know. His entire world is about to shatter, and I have to be the one to tell him.
Charlotte sent Pamela to break the truth. She couldn't watch another person she loved crumble. In their apartment, Pamela took Ryan's hands and told him the story he never knew was his.
She thinks I am dead? For 9 years? That's why she never called?
She told him about the $24,000, the fake obituary, Linda's grand deception.
My own parents took money to erase her from my life. They told me she never wanted to speak to me again.
The next week, they sat in a therapist's office, trying to salvage what was left of their future.
I should have looked for her. I believed them so easily.
Charlotte retreated into solitude, letting the anger cool into something she could carry.
I am not in love with him anymore, but I still need to hear his side. Just once.
The days became weeks. The wedding remained postponed, and the future was a question mark. 3 months crawled by, marked by therapy sessions and quiet mornings. The calendar flipped from July to October. Charlotte began to feel less like a ghost and more like a woman with a future. Then, one evening, her phone buzzed. The screen lit up. Charlotte, it's Ryan. It's Ryan. I'd like to meet and talk if you are open to it. No pressure.
3 months of therapy. 3 months of rebuilding. And now this. He's asking to close the loop, not to rekindle anything, just to talk.
She stared at the screen, her thumb hovering over the keyboard. 9 years of silence, and now a single message.
I am ready. I need to hear his voice without the weight of 9 years of grief.
Her reply was brief. I'd like that. Saturday at the park on Birch Street, 3 p.m. She pressed send before hesitation could creep back in. The die was cast.
Whatever happens at that bench, I am not the girl who believed he was dead. I am the woman who knows the truth.
Saturday arrived, crisp and golden. Charlotte sat on the old bench under the oak, leaves drifting around her. Ryan appeared on the path, hands in his pockets. He looked older, but the boy she'd known was still there.
Thanks for coming. I wasn't sure you would.
I wasn't sure either, but we needed this.
He sat beside her, not too close, and for a long moment, they just watched the leaves fall.
9 years of thinking you were dead. It was a lie my mother bought with $24,000.
I believed you'd ghosted me. My parents told me you wanted nothing more to do with me. I mourned you, too.
There was no anger left, only a shared sorrow that had calcified into a strange, quiet peace.
I am not in love with you anymore, Ryan, but I needed to hear your voice, to know you are real, and to say goodbye.
Goodbye, Charlotte. I wish things had been different, but I am glad you are here now.
They stood, and after a moment, shared a brief hug. It lasted only a few seconds, but 9 years dissolved in it.
This isn't a second chance. It's a door closing softly behind me.
There was no desperation in the embrace, no clinging to what was lost, just a quiet, final acknowledgement. Charlotte pulled back and met his eyes one last time. The pain was gone from her gaze.
Take care of yourself, Charlotte.
I already feel lighter. The ghost I've been carrying for 9 years finally let go.
She turned and followed the leaf-strewn path, her footsteps steady and certain. Ryan watched her go, his own shoulders relaxing for the first time in months.
9 years of sorrow ended with a single walk through an autumn park. This is what freedom feels like.
She didn't look back. She didn't need to. The weight was finally gone. Winter melted into spring. The therapy sessions shifted from processing wounds to building a new foundation. In the therapist's office, Pamela and Ryan began to laugh again. The laughter started small, but it was real.
I want to marry you, Ryan. Not because of the past, but in spite of it. We've earned this.
Then let's do it. Let's get married. Small, this time. Just people who truly love us.
They set a new date, a year from the original, choosing a quiet venue far from the shadow of Linda's crime. Charlotte threw herself into her graduate studies. She started running along the river, laughing with new friends, rediscovering a world she'd abandoned.
I can't remember the last time I felt this light. The grief isn't a weight anymore. It's just a memory.
Without Linda's manipulative presence, the Evans family gatherings slowly became bearable, then enjoyable. The wounds healed into scars, still visible, but no longer tender. The family learned to be a family again, missing one member but stronger for it. The future was no longer a question mark. It was a destination they were all finally walking toward. 1 year after the devastation, an envelope landed on Charlotte's doorstep. Inside, a simple card read, "Together with their families, Pamela Evans and Ryan Cole invite you to celebrate their wedding."
A year ago, this would have destroyed me. Now it fills me with joy.
She traced the script with her finger, feeling the texture of a new beginning.
I am not the woman I was. I am ready to celebrate them.
She filled out the RSVP card with a steady hand, checking the box for joyfully accepts. Later, she dropped the reply in the mailbox, the metal clang echoing finality.
I am going to my cousin's wedding, my ex-boyfriend's wedding, and I am genuinely happy.
The day would come sooner than she expected, but she was already at peace. The past was no longer a shadow. It was a story that had finally found its ending. The morning of the wedding, sunlight poured through the windows of the bridal suite.
After everything, we're here. I am marrying him, and I've never been more certain.
Across the venue, Ryan adjusted his tie, a nervous smile playing on his lips.
No lies between us anymore. Just this moment, and a future we built ourselves.
Charlotte stepped out of her car. Her dress, a soft pastel, her hair loose and golden.
I am here as Charlotte, not as a grieving girl, not as a victim, just a woman, joining the celebration.
She walked toward the rows of white chairs, nodding at familiar faces. Her seat was in the second row, exactly where she belonged. Close enough to see the joy, far enough to breathe.
This is how it ends. Not with sorrow, but with a wedding I am genuinely glad to attend.
She smoothed her dress and looked toward the altar, ready to witness the first page of their new story. The music swelled, and all heads turned toward the aisle. Pamela appeared, radiant in white, her eyes fixed on Ryan. Charlotte's breath caught, not from grief, but from the simple beauty of it. Two people who had weathered a shared lie, now building a shared truth. They held hands and spoke their vows, words that had been tested by fire and come out stronger.
I promise to love you through every truth, no matter how hard. You are my home.
I promise to stand beside you, not in the shadow of the past, but in the light of what we've built.
Charlotte blinked and felt the wetness on her own cheeks. These were not tears of sorrow. They were relief.
They made it. We all made it. The lie didn't win.
The officiant pronounced them married, and a wave of applause washed over the garden. Ryan dipped Pamela into a kiss that was equal parts triumph and tenderness. Charlotte rose to her feet along with everyone else, her hands coming together in a joy that felt entirely new. The reception tent glittered with fairy lights, laughter rising above the music. Charlotte stepped inside, and for the first time in years, she felt no heaviness.
No grief, no anger. Just this moment, and the warmth of being exactly where I belong.
She accepted a champagne flute from a passing waiter and raised it toward no one in particular, a silent toast to her own resilience.
I thought I'd never smile again after losing him. Now I am smiling at him marrying someone else, and it feels right.
A cousin grabbed her hand and pulled her into a circle of dancers. Charlotte let herself be tugged, her laughter ringing out. She danced without reservation, her pastel dress twirling as she spun beneath the twinkling lights.
I haven't danced like this since I was 19. I thought I'd forgotten how.
At some point, she caught Ryan's eye across the dance floor. He raised his glass with a grateful nod. She returned it, then twirled away.
That nod said everything we needed. Closure, forgiveness, freedom.
The night wore on, and Charlotte's smile never wavered. The past had finally become just a story. The reception hummed around Charlotte, but she stepped back for a moment, letting the joy wash over her.
Every face here is a reminder of how far I've come. From frozen grief to this.
She looked at Pamela and Ryan, dancing close, their laughter rising above the music.
I could have let the bitterness consume me. Instead, I am here celebrating their love.
She lifted her glass, catching the light, and made a silent toast to herself.
To the future. To a life no longer defined by a lie.
She took a sip, the bubbles sparkling on her tongue, and let the warmth spread through her chest. The music shifted to a slow song, and she swayed gently in place, feeling the rhythm of a new beginning.
This is the end of the chapter. The next one is mine to write.
She smiled, genuinely, and without reservation, then turned to rejoin the dance, her heart lighter than it had ever been. Charlotte moved with the music, but the party around her seemed to slow.
I am here. I am whole. I am not defined by a lie.
The laughter and string lights blurred into a gentle hum around her.
9 years of grief dissolved into this single, quiet moment.
Her smile deepened. Finally reaching her eyes after a decade of sorrow, she lifted her chin, letting the golden light wash over her face. In that instant, she was no longer the frozen woman from the engagement party. She was a woman who had reclaimed her story and written a new ending. Her joyful, unguarded smile became the only thing in focus as the world softened to a blur. And in that silence, the story ended, but her life had just begun.